And then ask yourself, do you deserve happiness? You know what I mean? And the answer is yes, always. You always deserve happiness. Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Noah back again with another video. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I help people awaken to their true abilities through wellness and spirituality. Thank you so much for tuning into today's video. And today I'm going to be talking about how to know if somebody is good for you. And, you know, I felt kind of called to make this because sometimes, you know, we kind of just know that someone's not good for us based on being around them, but it can be hard to catch the signs when we hang out with them every single day, or we hang out with them very often. Or even if we, you know, just have known them for a while. This can be family, this can be friends, this can be coworkers, but in general, this is going to be a video on how to know if somebody is good for you. You know, this can apply to relationships as well, but yeah, so one of the main reasons that you can to know if somebody's good for you is how do you feel? You know what I mean? When you're with them, do you feel like, you know, there's a genuine connection there? Like, do you feel very interested in what they're having, in what they have to say? Or are you feeling like, you know, you're kind of just hanging around for them? You know, it's not really for you. And how do you feel when you leave, right? Like, how do you feel whenever you are done hanging out with that person? Do you feel very exhausted? Do you feel like kind of like a weight has lifted off of your shoulder whenever you're gone with that person? Does it feel, you know, do you just feel just more tired when you are done hanging out with that person? Or when you're done being with that person? Like, how do you feel whenever you're not with that person, right after you're done like meeting with them? Do you feel like kind of weighed down, exhausted? This could very well be a sign that they're draining your energy, meaning that you might be radiating on a higher frequency than them. And so whenever they talk to you, then they pick up on your energy, and they're, you know, so they feel good whenever they're hanging around you. Or just in general, you know, they could just be draining your energy, you know. And so if you feel like you are tired or exhausted after hanging out with someone, that could very well be a sign that that person's not really good for you, you know. And it can be hard identifying this because well, not identifying it, but it can be hard once you've identified this about this person, if you've hung out with them for a while, right? And that's kind of been like your homie, or you've been with that person for a while. You know, you consider them family at one point. But you know, we have to realize that not all the time is a relationship beneficial towards us. You know, oftentimes we are in a relationship for a lot longer than we're supposed to be in there for. You know, and everybody has their purpose, everybody has their place. And so, you know, whenever you feel like your time's up, or you feel kind of exhausted when you're hanging around them, then, you know, just realize that you're not only doing yourself a favor by, you know, by letting them go, but you're also doing them a favor, because you not being happy in the relationship, you know, just ask yourself this. I was watching a video on Victor Otto. He posted a video with his wife, and they were talking about how to know when it's time to let go. And I guess that's kind of what inspired this video. But and one of the things that Patty, which is his wife, said was, you know, when you let go, you know, you're not only doing it for yourself, you're doing it for the other person. You know, oftentimes when we don't want to let go, from someone, but we know that they're kind of toxic towards us and there's like a toxic relationship there. And oftentimes we kind of want to just stick around because, you know, we don't know what we don't know what they're going to say, and we don't want to upset them. But you're ultimately making it difficult for them as well. You know what I mean? Whereas if you were to let go, then it would be a blessing to them as well. And you also have to ask yourself this question: you deserve happiness. You know what I mean? If this person isn't making you feel happy, if you don't feel like there's a genuine soul connection there, you know what I mean? If you know, when you're hanging out with someone, they're, you know, you should know if they're good for you or not. You know what I mean? And if they are, then you should be able to, you know, have fun with them just each and every time you see them. You know what I mean? And you guys should just have this very close connection. And, you know, it's very different than to someone who you're kind of just holding on to, and you'll be able to know that. But just, you know, just focus on how you feel, right? How is this person making you feel? That's ultimately what it comes down to. And then ask yourself, do you deserve happiness? You know what I mean? And the answer is yes, always. You always deserve happiness. And, you know, but not only you, that other person deserves happiness too. And just by you letting go of that person, it's also doing them a favor, because what it's doing is it's, you know, if you don't feel good in that relationship, you know, it's also toxic for them. You know, they're also not feeling so great in that relationship. And so it's important to realize that when you let go of that person, you're not only doing it for yourself, you know what I mean? You're also doing it for the other person. Because at the end of the day, whenever you let go of that person, you know, that person will ultimately, it'll be better for them in the long run as well. You know, it might be sad, you know, at first, but, you know, long term, you'll be able to look back and realize, you know, that person served a purpose in my life, and I'm grateful for them. You know, and you'll ultimately never have to be upset about what that person did for you. You know what I mean? Like I said before, everybody serves their own purpose. You know what I mean? And just because something doesn't work out with someone now doesn't mean it's forever, you know? You know, sometimes you guys just need to separate. You know, I'll give you an example in my life. I had a really close friend. Whenever I moved, you know, my family moved states, like when I was a freshman, and I didn't really have friends. And so, you know, I met this one dude who was really cool to me. You know what I mean? And he was like my best friend when I was there, because I didn't really have friends. And then, you know, like a year and a couple months ago, I had my spiritual awakening, and I just completely changed. You know what I mean? My view on life completely changed, and I was just able to realize that, you know, life is so much more precious than what I had thought prior. And so my life completely changed. On my perspective on life completely shifted, you know, it did a whole 180. And then through that, I was able to realize that, you know, my best friend, who I had considered my best friend for like 4 years, wasn't, you know, for me anymore. It was time to let him go, you know. And you know, luckily, you know, there wasn't anything really bad that happened between us. We kind of just went our separate ways. And, you know, because he used to, like, we would always FaceTime each other every day. Like, that's how close we were. We literally FaceTimed each other every day. And he was like a brother to me, you know what I mean? I considered him family at one point. But, you know, I had to realize that, you know, my time was up with him. And And I realized that, you know, I quickly realized that it wasn't super sad for me, because I realized that, you know, this is best for both of us. You know what I mean? I just wasn't, we weren't vibrationally on the same frequency, and I saw things differently. He considered a lot of the things that I had done. You know, I told him about meditation. I had told him about, you know, I used to sun gaze often. I used to tell him about that, and he would just judge me for it, and he didn't really understand it. And so I had to realize that, you know, it was time to move on, you know. And right now, as of today, I don't really have a lot of friends, you know what I mean? But that's only because I'm waiting for the right people to come into my life, you know what I mean? And that can be for you, that can happen for you as well. You know, it doesn't always have to be upsetting, because you just have to understand that people are going to come into your life based on, you know, how you're feeling and what you're doing. And so, you know, yeah, I guess that's going to do it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed, make sure to comment, share, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. But yeah, if you want to hit me up on my social media, it's going to be right here. Have a wonderful afternoon, morning, or night, wherever you guys are at. And peace, love, and happiness, my friends. Mwah.